I'm back. Today I'm going to talk about pens and wristwatches and pocket watches. I've been digging through my old drawers and boxes, and I've come up with every pocket watch and every wristwatch and every pen I could find. And I'm going to talk about some today. I'm going to start with this pen. I opened it up, and it's just absolutely a piece of art, the way they have this point on there. My God, what class we had. Sheaffer did a great job of making their pens in these days. So most of these pens are Sheaffers. Then they went in from all their pens, and people started paper mate and started making ballpoint pens, which sort of lost their class, but it's a lot easier. Now I'm going to go into pocket watches. This is my father's pocket watch. His name was Joe Carlomagno. It's engraved behind JC, so I could probably use it. And I didn't realize, but pocket watches were like in the late 1800s. Everybody had a pocket watch because wristwatches were just from World War I when they started needing wristwatches. They got small pocket watches and made a little holder and tied a leather band around them, and they made a sort of a wristwatch out of a pocket watch. That became very popular. Tank drivers could drive their tanks around, and they would have to say, "Okay, it's 800, we're ready to go." And right after World War I, wristwatches became very popular, and Mickey Mouse naturally jumped onto that. So naturally, I started loving Mickey Mouse wristwatches. So I started with the little baby guys. And then when I got older, I had to wear the older ones that made me look more presentable. And then when I got my own office, I decided what is better than to have a Mickey Mouse wall clock. So I drew one up, and a lot of people thought it was real, but it told the time. And this was my mother's family's old clock that was hanging around our house for years and years, probably a couple hundred years old. And this was my uncle Buddy's clock, and it reminds me of the Chrysler Building in New York, and I always love it as the New York Chrysler Building clock. And so that's my story on wristwatches and pocket watches and pens today. And I've got so much more junk to talk about, so you guys are in a lot of trouble.